Aubrey Drake Graham. A name I once revered. A name I once had plastered on my bedroom walls. A name I've looked up to since I was 12 years old watching Degrassi on the N. Does anyone remember the N? God, I miss the N. Anyway, I've admired and had a celebrity crush on this man for probably over a decade at this point. I've loved his music, his acting, his sense of style, his corniness. I loved that he was willing to be vulnerable through his music. So Far Gone, Thank Me Later, Take Care, Nothing Was the Same. If you're reading this, these are all bodies of work that had a huge hand in shaping my teen and young adult years. I thought this man was one of the greatest lyricists ever, and even now he's still okay, but he's crossed the line far too many times at this point. I always thought that his corniness and sometimes cringe personality was the absolute worst thing about him. Guess I was wrong. Turns out he's a misogynistic, predatory piece of shit. We love to see it. So I think it's about that time that I officially revoke my Stan card and call him the fuck out, shall we? Let's go back to 2010, where there is a video of Aubrey kissing and fondling a 17-year-old girl when at the time he was 23. He welcomed this girl on stage during his performance and, well... You know, it's funny because I remember when this video came out, I think I just watched it on YouTube or something, and I was, you know, as a 14-year-old Drake stan at the time, I remember wishing I was that girl that he was kissing and touching. So, of course, at the time, I didn't see anything wrong with it. In fact, I saw it as the ultimate dream. Now, as a grown adult with a fully formed prefrontal cortex, I realize that's kind of fucked up. I mean, the fact that he went back in and kissed her, even after knowing she was 17, is pretty fucking gross. And there seems to be this running theme here when it comes to Aubrey's interactions and connections with underage girls. At one point, he was rumored to be dating model Bella Harris, who had just turned 18 at the time, who he had known since she was 16. Now, these rumors were shut down when a quote source close to the rapper said that they are not dating and have never dated. But the fact that these rumors even started to gain traction in the first place, how did we get here? I don't doubt that they never dated. However, oh my god, I'm about to sneeze. Hold on. God, I hate allergies. I don't doubt that they never dated. However, do I think it's not that far-fetched to believe that Aubrey possibly found her attractive and maybe even considered taking her out on one date? Yeah, I think that's totally plausible. But it seems the Millie Bobby Brown situation is what turned out to be the beginning of the end for me when it comes to standing Drake, and I didn't even know it at the time. For those of you who don't know, Millie Bobby Brown is an 18-year-old British actress who is probably most known for her role as Eleven in the hit Netflix series Stranger Things, one of my favorite shows, Nancy and Steve Forever. She did an interview back in 2018 at the Emmys in which she revealed that her and Drake text sometimes, and he gives her boy advice. Quote, "He's honestly so fantastic and a great friend and a great role model," she told Access. "We just texted each other the other day and he was like, 'I miss you so much.' And I was like, 'I miss you more.'" Okay. Now, when I initially heard about this, I thought nothing of it, because as a Drake stan, of course, Aubrey would never exhibit any kind of predatory behavior. He's not that kind of guy. He's not that person. And when I began to see the backlash toward him online, I defended him wholeheartedly. It never really occurred to me just how inappropriate that was. Like, a 30-something-year-old man probably should not be texting a 15-year-old girl, one whom he's not related to in any way, boy advice and telling her how much he misses her. It's just a bit weird, mate. You've lost the plot. And Millie responded to everything on her Instagram story, basically saying that it's not like that. You guys are making it weird. I mean, I wouldn't have expected her to fully be able to grasp people's concerns about that at her age. I'm sure the idea of having older friends, especially ones like Drake, is very appealing for a teenager. It was appealing to me at her age for sure. Millie, I regret to inform you that Drake is the weirdo that you should be most concerned about. There's also that time, you guys remember Astroworld? What a fun time that was. Drake was a special guest performer at rapper Travis Scott's music festival, Astroworld, that ended up leaving 10 people dead due to compression asphyxia from the massive crowd surge that occurred, and that was encouraged by Travis Scott. Now, I'm not saying that I blame Drake for the atrocities of that night, but to go from that horrific scene to a Dave and Buster's after party and then a strip club where you apparently spent $1 million, not the best look. That just rubbed me the wrong way. I don't know, like, yeah, sure, maybe he just didn't know that all that was happening, but I don't know, like, dude, come on. Someone on his team should have informed him, like, hey, this shit is, like, people are fucking dying and shit at this Astroworld concert you just left. But what the fuck do I know? On his album, this is another thing, on his album Certified Lover Boy, an album I was extremely disappointed in, he very lately sampled R. Kelly on the song TSU, which when I first heard about that, I was like, what? Come again? To be fair, his producer 40 explained that R. Kelly was not involved in TSU, but rather that a Kelly song was playing in the background of a sample of OG Ron C talking. And in order to use that sample, they had to credit the Kelly song, which, okay, fair enough, I guess. I don't know, though, just like speaking from my perspective as to what I would do as an artist, if I knew I had to credit that piece of shit on one of my songs, I would either change that song to the point where I don't have to credit him, or I would scrap the fucking song altogether. Because personally, I refuse to be associated with a known sexual predator, but maybe that's just me. There was also a time where Aubrey, for some reason, decided to sneakily take a picture of a stranger that seemingly had no knowledge that the picture was being taken and gave no consent for it to be posted to Drake's Insta story, where he has over 100 million followers. Tried to airdrop this woman a pic of herself because she's a dime. Just stop, Aubrey. Just fucking stop. My God. In what world is that okay? It's already bizarre enough for a normie such as myself to take a picture of like a random hot guy with his face included and post it to social media. But to do so when you have the entire population of Ethiopia as your follower count. It's not a compliment, it's fucking creepy. He's also allegedly been rude to service workers on several different occasions. This I didn't even know about before I started researching for this video. Now, these are all rumors, okay? There's no concrete evidence to support these claims. It's just word of mouth. But apparently him and his entourage are very rude, loud, belligerent. They smoke in the fucking restaurants like it's 1986 or some shit. There was one Reddit comment that piqued my interest. I was at a fancy as fuck restaurant earlier this year, and he was there at the table beside me with his entourage. I've never ever seen such shit fucking behavior from a group of people. It was ridiculous. He made the server cry, then started a very close to physical fight with the next server, who was our server. Ended up both servers in our area had to leave, and management took over his table and ours. It was clearly him and his entourage fighting, not just his entourage. He was being a total cunt for no reason. Also smoking at the table, which was a big no-no. Defying the super strict mask rule, screaming at each other loudly. And you have to understand, this was like top of the fucking line fancy steakhouse, super quiet and shit. They were all a bunch of assholes. Take with that what you will. Either way, once again, not a good look. Let's get into the Fantano situation. Because that shit really pissed me off. Anthony Fantano, aka The Needle Drop, is a music critic / content creator on YouTube, Twitch, and TikTok, probably most known for his reviews on YouTube. I follow him. I followed him for quite a while now. I like him, despite him shitting on some of my favorite artists' music over the years. I like that no matter what, he gives his honest opinion, whether it aligns with the public consensus or not. He does not care about stans, flooding his comment section. He just gives it to you straight. And that's pretty much what he's been doing when it comes to reviewing Drake's music. He has not been a fan of Aubrey's latest releases, and neither have I. I feel as though he's gotten, like Drake, he's gotten so big and so rich and so famous, so successful, that he's really sort of lost the drive to even give a shit anymore, to even like put his heart and soul into his projects. It's just clear as day to me. And apparently Drake caught wind of Anthony's reviews, because boy oh boy did he come with a response. Initially, Anthony put out a video entitled "Drake Slid Into My DMs," in which he went on to troll, as he does. It made it seem as if Drake had DM'd him in a very friendly, respectful manner, and even gave him a vegan cookie recipe for him to try. Aww. How sweet. By the end of the video, I think we all knew that screenshot was fake. I think we all expected this to be a troll just based off the title alone. However, we did not expect Aubrey to completely fucking expose himself. I guess he became so upset, so enraged, that Anthony was not giving him the attention that he so desperately wanted. So he went on to post on his own Insta story the real DMs that he sent Anthony. Your existence is a light one, and the one is 'cause you are alive, and 'cause you somehow wiped a black girl. I'm feeling a light to decent one on your existence. I just want to say, Aubrey, you're a bitch. You are a weak, scared little man-child that is just dripping with insecurity. First of all, the one woman you impregnated is white. Come again? The fact that you really thought he did something with this, like, you tried coming for Anthony using his own rating system. You really thought you did something. And I loved Anthony's response to the real messages being exposed by Drake. I have even more respect for him than I did before. Like, the fact that he didn't even respond to Drake. That's some boss shit. Drake basically told him the world would be better off if he didn't exist, because he gave negative critiques to his latest shitty music. That's astounding to me. As much of a fucking megastar that you are still so willing to stoop so low because just one person gave you a negative review, and to post it online to millions as if you really did something. That says a lot about his character. And now here we are today. He just released his collaborative album with 21 Savage entitled Her Loss, and now out of nowhere he decides to throw shade at Megan Thee Stallion. I'm sure most of you have heard about the Tory Lanez and Megan situation, in which psychotic gremlin Tory Lanez shot Megan Thee Stallion in her fucking foot during a dispute, and then proceeded to say that she lied, despite there now being a mountain of evidence against him. And please don't give me shit in the comments about, oh, he wasn't talking about Megan, he was talking about booty shots, a girl lying about getting booty shots. Shut the fuck up. I'm a longtime fan of rap music, and I know what a double entendre is, or in this case maybe it was a triple entendre, I don't fucking know. I know what that is. Thanks. Like, Aubrey knew exactly what he was doing when he wrote that line. The fact that he's essentially choosing to To cowardly defend his fellow Canadian bitch, Tory Lanez, is despicable, whether it was just for album sales or whether it's him just realizing he has nothing to lose anymore. So why not just go full force on the misogyny train? Either way, was it worth it to continue to disrespect Black women, the group that is already the most disrespected? Was it worth it? Aubrey. He even had the nerve to make a dig at Serena Williams' husband by calling him a groupie in another song on this album. Dude, what is wrong with you? Like, are you okay? Are you okay? Do we need to get you back into therapy? Because I feel like that's where this is needing to go. You in therapy. Because what the fuck? Did Serena really hurt you that badly? Like, what the fuck is going on? I truly believe that we are witnessing the downfall of Drake. He'll still have fans. Fucking R. Kelly still has fans, so why wouldn't Drake? But as far as former fans with a functioning brain like myself, seeing him as this untouchable, near flawless being, this decent guy with a good heart that deserves worldwide praise and success, I think that's done and over with. He's talented. Yes, he always has been. The problem is he seems to no longer be interested in using that talent for good. He'd rather use it for purely selfish purposes. He'd rather use his talents for his own personal gain. And that's something I truly can't respect. I just wanted to read a few excerpts from this article in The Atlantic from Spencer Kornhaber entitled "For Drake, the Misogyny is the Message. The rapper's brand is now pointless, profitable cruelty." What's clear is that having a strong opinion against Megan is, in many cases, more of a tribal position than a logical one, with gendered overtones. In Drake's Circo Logo lyric aligns him with one camp, though vaguely enough to give him some cover from blowback. In the past few days, his listeners have sown doubt about what he's really saying. Lil Yachty, a collaborator on some of the album, has said the line is, quote, not about Megan, but rather about cosmetic injections. Another take says that Drake was referring to a model known as Elk the Stallion. Such interpretations aren't defenses, though. Lyrics can have layered meanings, but it's laughable to say that Drake, who's as calculating as a computer, didn't intend for the words shot, lie, and stallion to trigger exactly this kind of controversy. None of these insults articulates much, not an agenda, not a worldview, other than a desire for attention. And sure enough, publicity about those disses has far eclipsed coverage of Her Loss's actual and pretty good music. Circo Logo even debuted at #1 on Billboard's Hot Trending Songs chart. The swipe at Megan is especially nasty, though, because although it might be good for Drake's business, it comes at a cost for others. Not only has Drake forced Megan to defend herself, her career, and her credibility once again, but at a moment of mounting #MeToo backlash, he has also fed into the sense that reflexively dismissing the stories of women, and in this case Black women, is edgy and wise. And the fact that a market exists for this kind of thoughtless commodification of someone else's struggle just proves the dark point that Megan has been making all along. Quote, "I've realized that violence against women is not always connected to being in a relationship," she wrote in the New York Times in 2020. "Instead, it happens because too many men treat all women as objects." I truly thought he was better than this. I can no longer listen to his music and not think about how much of a shitty person he's become. If you can, great. I don't care. It sucks that it's come to this. But this was the last fucking straw for me, dude. Like, Drake's been, like, on this slow and steady decline. And this has just really sent it over the edge for me. Of course, there are worse things he could have done. He could have physically assaulted someone. It doesn't really matter to me. Your words just say a lot. And I honestly I feel sad for Drake because he clearly is hurting within himself. He's hurting badly. I know it may sound like I'm joking, but he needs to go to therapy and speak with a professional, because you are so massive. Just like I was saying with the Anthony Fantano situation, you are so fucking massive. You are a megastar. You do not need outrage bait to sell records. You know that. You know you don't. So what is this exactly? A cry for help, perhaps? I don't know, but I just hope he gets some fucking help, because my support for Aubrey Drake Graham stops here. It was fun while it lasted, Jimmy. God. Fuck allergies, man.